Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Irv Adler. I am the 2025 Local Conference Chair representing the host Jewish Genealogy Society, Northeast Indiana Jewish Genealogy Society. And on behalf of Hadassah Lipsius and Judy Missel, the IJGS Conference Co-Chairs, Dan Oren, the IJGS Conference Program Chair, Kurt Witcher, Manager of the Allen County Public Library Genealogy Center and Director of the Special Collections, and Betsy Gephardt, President of Northeast Indiana Jewish Genealogy Society. I would like to welcome you to this virtual information session on registering for the conference. I will present some information on travel to Fort Wayne, and besides attending the great conference sessions, a few things that you can do before, during, and after the conference. Then Hadassah will discuss the registration process and the conference program. Then we will have a Q&A session to answer any questions you might have. Fort Wayne is located in the heart of the Midwest. Next slide. It's not difficult to get to Fort Wayne, either by car or by air. If you should fly into Indianapolis, there is a shuttle service that can take you from the airport to your hotel, and more information on the shuttle service is available on the website. Next. The Fort Wayne Airport is a major regional hub airport that is more than 2/3 of the way through a $100 million improvement program designed to make it the region's #1 airport to fly into. And in fact, a few weeks ago, the Fort Wayne Airport just opened its first fully equipped lounge for travelers. There are multiple daily direct flights to and from Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago, and Minneapolis through American, Delta, and United Airlines. And Allegiant has direct flights from the cities listed on this slide. There are lots of ways to get to and from Fort Wayne. Next slide. Now I'd like to show you a brief video of downtown Fort Wayne. Referring to this map, I would like to point out a few points of interest to orient you to downtown Fort Wayne. Here's the key point. This is the Fort Wayne Hilton Hotel, so you can focus on that. The Botanical Conservatory and Embassy Theater are right across the street from your main conference hotel, the Fort Wayne Hilton Hotel. Parkview Field, home of the Tin Caps baseball team, is just across the street from the Grand Wayne Convention Center, which is where the conference will be held. The secondary conference hotel, the Courtyard by Marriott, is directly across the street, literally just steps away from the street side entrance to the Grand Wayne Convention Center. Across from the northwest corner of the Grand Wayne Convention Center, here, is the Allen County Public Library Genealogy Center. Again, just a few minutes walk away. The Fort Wayne Museum of Art and Promenade Park are about a 10 to 15-minute walk away from downtown Fort Wayne, from the Fort Wayne Hilton Hotel. And there are about 50 restaurants within a 5 to 10-minute walk from the Grand Wayne Convention Center. If you decide to take advantage of the Art This Way tour, you will walk the streets of Fort Wayne, north of the Grand Wayne Convention Center, and get a good feeling for downtown Fort Wayne and the more than 150 pieces of public art that are on display. Next slide. So the conference tours and programs are described in more detail on the conference website under tourist information section. You can see there's quite a bit of information, and each one of these links will then provide you even more information about the details of the tour, where you could pick it up, and the cost, and other related things. Okay, next slide. So here is a summary of the various tours and programs. And I said all this is quite a bit more information on every one of these items as part of the website and the links that I showed you a few minutes ago. Some of the programs are in the program planning guide, and you've probably seen some of this already. You can sign up for some of them. Some you can do on your own, like some of the tours, the Allen County Courthouse, the Botanical Conservatory, Embassy Theater, and a Sweet Breeze boat ride. Some require some transportation. They're a little bit outside from downtown Fort Wayne. And we have two special programs. One is at Congregation Achdut for Shalom. That's a Friday night. We call Friday Night Live. It's an outdoor service. And also on Sunday, the Embassy Theater will have an organ and silent film festival event. So now, with that information behind you, I'd like to turn the program over to Hadassah, and she'll provide you more information on the registration process and the conference program.
Okay. Thank you, Irv. This is our homepage, iajgs2025.org, and there's this button here that says register now. I figured that I would do a sample registration, if that's okay with everybody. So if I click on register now, I get to this page here for the new registration. Everybody approve? Nod your head. Okay. So if you do for register now, you can get to the instructions. There's a registration overview, which tells you about new registration, modifying your registration, and the pricing for the full, for spouse, for student, for daily, and for Sunday only. And there's information there. I'm just going to go back to register now again. And so we're going to do a sample registration. So I'm just going to click here for new registration. And we're going to go through the entire steps. So I was trying to figure out who should I register? Which fake person should I be registering? So I said, okay, I am going to register my ancestor. Now, mind you, she died in 1830, so I doubt she's coming to the conference. But I figured, okay, we'll register her. So her name is Temerla, and her last name is Sonnenberg. Now, Temerla, we need an address for her. So I'll do temerla@gmail.com. I hope that works. I don't think she'll get it. What do you think, guys? And I'm not putting a phone number because I don't think where she's buried there's a phone anymore, nor a cell phone. She probably didn't know that either. But I did see that she lived on 10 Orla Street. Now, she lived in Warsaw, but I figured, okay, instead of doing Warsaw in Poland, I was going to do Warsaw, Indiana, because Irv, correct me if I'm wrong, there is a Warsaw in Indiana, correct?
Yes, and it's the home of the orthopedics industry of the world. It has about $15 billion worth of business emanates from Warsaw, Indiana. Very hard to capture all that.
Right. So I figured, okay, well, I'm sure there's not an Orla Street, but in Warsaw, Indiana, but we kind of did a merge, and I think I'll give her her first name, even though she should really be like Hadassah's, fourth great grandmother instead as for her first name, but we'll ignore that here. Okay, so the next part, the questions, there's several questions. There's like lots of questions on here, but several questions are required. So this talks about the privacy, use of personal data. I don't think she cares about that. Permission to add your name and email address to the mailing list. I think she'll say that's okay too. And then they want to know, how did you learn about the conference? So should I put other and say from my great-great-granddaughter? How's that? And this is her first time attending a conference, hopefully. Years in genealogy, I would say more than 21 years that she's been doing her family genealogy. She's not an officer or and you don't have to answer these questions. I'm just, playing with you guys. And she doesn't belong to any societies. And she's not interested in creating one underground in the tunnel. And she probably could translate, but I'm going to say no for now. And she certainly could mentor, but I don't think we'll do that either. That's not required by the volunteer. Fran, I think Fran would like her to volunteer, right, Fran? And then she's not interested in the minion, but she is Shomer Shabbos. I do have pictures of her. And it asks what meal she's interested in. If she's interested in kosher meals, probably. And then it says, please list your allergies if ordering meals, and if not, type none. So I don't know what her allergies are. I'm sure she's probably not used to any of the foods we do. I'm going to say disability is no. And the contact, I think I'm going to have me as her contact. And then 888-555-1212. Obviously a fake number. And then I'll say that she's interested in a virtual conference in the future. That's another required question because I don't know. Her husband died before her second husband. And we'll go here. We'll just say yes. I'm skipping over some of the questions. And yes. All right. So now here, she has to pick what she wants. So we'll have her as a full conference attendee. You notice that there's under 26. They should probably have somebody over 200, right? We should have a special rate for people over 200, but oh well. Okay. And now we allow, for this is the meal selection. We now have opened it up that you can select more than one banquet seat, but I'm just going to have her do one for now. And what happens is when you select any of the meals, and who does she want to talk to? Oh, she'll talk to Judy Missel here. And it tells you how many are left. These are the breakfasts. And certainly she'll want to go to the J.R.I. Poland luncheon, but she lived in Warsaw, and this is not Warsaw. So that's pretty nasty, for her. But we'll let her go anyway. And now that those have been selected, if you look down below, it opens up, the different meals, what she wants to breakfast, where she wants kosher, Monday lunch, please. All the lunches, by the way, are kosher for the lunch part of it. And we're playing right now with the banquet food selection, so it will be adjusted. If you don't have a selection for the food, you'll get there. We have another thing, a new feature here is welcome to the banquet seat selection. So you can actually select what table you want to be at. A lot of tables are already full. And that's one of the things that we tell people that, you can look at who's at each table. So I don't know, sometimes you go to a conference and there's long lines trying to get in and everybody's pushing to which table they want to choose. So now we use this banquet table thing. So you can look at who's at your table. And if it's somebody you like, you can say, hey, I'll do that. Or, or you can move yourself. I've seen actually people move their table once somebody sits down. Somebody selects the table, but don't squeal on me on that. So I'm just Pamela's gonna select the table over here. It sets it here. She could, and it's now telling she's table 13. She could have clicked skip if she didn't want to do that. But we'll continue on. And then here's these workshops that we have. Now I just and tours is what Irv was talking about. I just want to tell you that some of our tours are already full. And they're already, some of them will say sold out. You see, this is the Allen County Public Library tour. So we have 9 tours on Sunday through the Allen County Public Library, and 2 are sold out already. Some have left. Based on the need, we may open some more up for the rest of the week. This is the Art This Way tour that Irv talked about, and it's a really good price. It's at free. So that's pretty good. That's the walking tour, museum art tour, which is the glass collection, and you can actually click on the information and a window pops up with information on the tour itself. You can wait list yourself. We can open that up. Wait list. There is a wait list for this one here, which is the Lincoln Collection tour. That's very limited. That's a tour with Gary Zola. And so I'm going to hit continue. And so now it's telling me for Tamala Sonnenberg, these are the items she has, where she's seated. I can collect, I can do the, I am not going to pay for her. I'm not paying for a dead person. Sorry, guys. But you can click continue here. And now it's asking for the price. You would put in your credit card information, your billing address. Here's her email. You have to also click. And when you complete your registration, you have to go through all the steps. Please click here to confirm your email address is correct. You can put an assistant. And by submitting your registration, you acknowledge you're familiar with and accept the terms and conditions spelled out in the policy regarding cancellation refunds. And you can click on those. That's in the registration overview. I don't think it will let me click complete, but we'll see what happens. Ready? Nope. It says my credit card number is required. My expiration month is required. My year, my name. Merchant doesn't accept this credit card type. I guess they didn't have credit cards in the 1820s. But so go back and fix the error. But meanwhile, that's all the steps. Now, the next part I want to show you is what happens if you've already registered and now you want to add some items to your registration. So give me a second because I'm going to share a different window. All right. So this is the attendee service center. So any changes that you want to make to the registration once you've finished and paid, but for Tamerla, she decided not to pay. But any changes you make are now in the attendee service center. So when you want to update, so you can hit here, update your registration and information. You can edit here. This is you can edit here, and then when you hit edit this way, it goes through the entire registration process again. Or if you wanted just to add a meal. If you just wanted to add a meal, you click on here on the pull down, it says add meal event. If you just wanted to add the gala or the breakfast or the lunches, there's instructions here, adding a meal, click the blue bar, which is here. So this is showing you what was paid for already. And if I click add the meal, it allows me just to add the meal. So if I do the update registration part, I have to go through all the windows and all the questions. I can keep on clicking continue, but it goes through all those things. If I do the update the meal, I can select additional items on here. And by the way, if you select a breakfast on August 11th with one person, it blocks out. It doesn't allow you to select a second Monday breakfast. It kind of knows that you can't be dancing in 2 places at the same time. So you can then select your meal here. And then once you're finished, whatever you selected, you hit submit. And then you go down to the bottom and you click pay here. So the instructions say, confirm your payment method in the drop-down menu. So this is credit card. Type your payment amount in the fields provided. So I added something here. So I added $95 for here. And I added $30 here. And by clicking on, it says click the check box icon. it now opens up the payment methods so that I can do and pay. That's, you can also get and look at an invoice statement. And the same thing works with the, oh, you don't necessarily have to select your banquet seat initially. You could have selected it later, or I can change it. So if I now have, I can change my seat. I could change it to here instead. See, that's the green dot. Yellows are for people that need ADA requirements. So let us know if you have an ADA requirement itself. And then the reds are the full. So you can see all these tables, 19, 20, 21, 27, they're all full. I don't know what they think there's a special going on, but you can select that. And then you can also do the computer workshop. So you can add an additional computer workshop the same way as doing it, add the meals. You can, and this way you don't have to go through the whole process. You can click edit workshop. And then these are the workshops and also the tours. So you can click on any of these items, hit submit. You can see the items that are sold out. And this has a wait list. I actually did not add the wait list to the Allen County Public Library tours. And I should explain that. That's another item that's free at a really good price. So what we've arranged for, and you can click on here to see, we've arranged that the librarians at the Allen County Public Library on Sunday will be giving half-hour tours. It's limited because you can't have a lot of people together with the tour, but we have that. It's for the tour for the Allen County Public Library, and the librarians will be giving tours. I didn't put wait list, but I guess I can add to the wait list there. And then the next thing, so that's how to add, and then you hit, once again, you hit pay here, and it makes the payment. And this is the thing that I've just added today, and this is the personal schedule. So when you go to the conference website and you hit program, there's a program and schedule. So you can look at the entire program. You can select it by day. You can click here to add it to your Outlook, download to Outlook. You can add it to your Google Calendar. Everything, by the way, is color coded. Tours are red. Exhibit hall is yellow. Let's go move it up, change a day. This is all, and these are the days. So Minion is blue, breakfasts are purple. The birds of a feather are green. So these are the schedule. But if you want to go to create your own personal schedule, then you go on into the attendee service center. And from the attendee service center, here is the schedule. So not only can you look at the same schedule, but you can bookmark things. So if I wanted to bookmark some item like Judy Missel's talk, I can add that bookmarked here. And then if or you can bookmark the same thing, the Google, but you have the two things you have the ability to do here. One is to bookmark, and two, by going into Attendee Service Center, once we load the speaker handouts, you'll be able to look at them from here. You cannot look at the handouts from the open site. This is behind the paywall type of thing. So you can add these bookmarks. And then I can go over to here and it says my session. And it tells me my personal schedule. So it tells me what I've bookmarked. So these are the items I bookmarked. I can actually print the items that I bookmarked and create a listing of all the items that I bookmarked that I want to attend. So I don't have to print out the entire item. It will also tell me what's paid registration. So that means those are the items that I actually paid money for, that when I registered, I paid for those items. It won't say, it automatically fills. So that's why it doesn't say add bookmark. I could add them as a bookmark into my schedule, but it will tell you whatever you registered for. So this is all sessions. This was where you'll see the handouts. There are a couple of speakers who have loaded handouts already. What you bookmarked, and the paid registration. So that I turned on today. By the way, what do you think that little symbol stands for? Little red symbol. Anybody? I'm sure you can unmute yourself soon because we're going to ask questions. Anybody guess? Obviously, that's a ticketed item. That's what the little red symbol is. And then I think I've gone through registration. I've gone to how to add something, and also the meals. Let me just see. I'm curious. Cancel. You can also look at your confirmation with your passwords and things like that. You can print that out. We turned off the profiles, so we'll have to add them back in again, because that's where you can load your photographs on. So I think that I held my my contract to a half hour, so we can open it up for questions. I'll leave the share on in case anybody has any questions. So on the home page, well, first of all, when you register, there is an email, there's a message. Actually, when I was logging in, if I do update my registration information, and if you look on the confirmation, there's links on the confirmation itself to the Hilton and for the Marriott. So once you register, you can click on these links here. That's for the Hilton. And that tells you about the IAJGS annual conference and the rates. The tricky thing on the Hilton, now we don't have control over what the Hilton and Marriott do on their webpage, though we've asked them to make changes, like the fact that they spelled one time they spelled IAJGS wrong. But and they corrected it. But so here, if you say, it says visit the booking page, and this is a hyperlink. So if you go to the Hilton, this is for the Hilton, you click on the hyperlink, and that's where you can select your the nights that you want, and it says special rate. So just by clicking on those links, it will get you to the rates. And you can see there's openings, 159 through the whole time period of the conference. So that's one. And then if I go to this other, I'm just going to open this up again, the conference thing. The Marriott, it's click here for the Marriott. And it once again takes me to the Marriott webpage for the conference. See, it says conference, International Association of Jewish Theological Societies. And by the way, they have discounted parking rates. I think it's $10 for the Marriott, the parking, as opposed to other conferences where the parkings were at $40 and $50 a night. This is $10 a night. And this is $162. And you can then do the same thing, check availability. Both hotels have availability right now.